You want to surround yourself with people who bring the best out of you.
You know, if someone's not adding to your life, start subtracting.
Life is not perfect, and neither are we. Welcome to Raw and Unhinged. Lara and Steph will be bringing you real and insightful chats on health, psychology, fitness, and nutrition. Lara is a qualified nutritionist and fitness enthusiast who loves her pizza, and Steph, a registered psychologist, author, and renowned brunch queen. We hope you're ready for today's chat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Raw and Unhinged. And Lara is free in Sydney and I'm still in Melbourne, and it is October and I have not left this room. What's happening, Lara?
Meanwhile, I've been out and about. I went to F45 this morning, went out last weekend, had the time of my life, and now got to get a massage after, going to go for a walk. But I've got my freedom and I feel so bad for you guys.
It's like the restrictions are easing. We've just got to, hang in there, try and stay as effective as possible. I went to F45 too, in my lounge room.
In my lounge room.
So look, we do what we can, but what are we discussing today? I was super pumped for this one.
I know, I said, let's talk about this topic. You're like, oh my God, yes. So the topic of today, and I really wanted to, it is super important. Surrounding yourself with people who bring you up and who encourage you and who see your greatness and who want you to be great as well. I think that's super important. And you said, your tribe, your vibe. What was that thing you said before?
Yeah, your tribe is your vibe, which means the people you hang around creates the energy and the type of vibe or, momentum that you all have together. And if you hang around 5 shoplifters, you're most likely to be the 6th shoplifter.
Exactly right. It's so right. And, there's this quote that's always stuck with me, and I always remember it because I haven't always been surrounded by the best people. My lifestyle completely changed and I wasn't supported by my friends and I lost a lot of friends through it. And there's this quote that's always stuck with me. So it's the quote of surround yourself with the dreamers and the doers, the believers and the thinkers, but most of all, surround yourself with those who see the greatness within you, even when you don't see it yourself. And that has stuck with me thick and thin through so many different, things in my life. So that is one quote that I definitely stick by. And I think a lot of people should take that on board as well. You want to surround yourself with people who bring you up. For instance, when I released my recipe book the other week, you were all for it. You're like, yeah, go Lara, give me different ideas. Whereas, when I used to have my friends back then, they'd be like, why are you doing a recipe book for? And I'd be like, why are you working out? Because I want to work out. You want to surround yourself with people who bring the best out of you. Isn't that right?
100%. And I think that the common problem is people are like, yeah, but where do I find these people? And it's hard because we fall into default friendships. Like, oh, I have to have her in my bridal party because I've known her for 10 years. It's the bridal party debate. But then I've met this person only for a year, but I really love them. They're my strongest connection. So I think be mindful of default friendships and default relationships, like ones you just fall into because you went to high school together or you've been for the longest. The longest isn't necessarily the strongest, and the longest isn't necessarily the best for your goals and what you want to achieve. Like they might be loyal, they might be there for you, but out of that person is going to be honest and be like, Lara, for your recipe book, like I recommend this,
Yeah, exactly. And give you advice. I always say people's vibes, mindsets and belief will become your own. So especially surrounding yourself with people who inspire you and who want, to take your life to the new level. I always say we're like kind of chameleons. We vibe off who we surround ourselves with. So just surrounding ourselves with people who bring us up and people who inspire us day to day as well. I think that's so important, especially us as friends. I see we always inspire us to do more, especially when we were in lockdown together, going for walks. You drove me to make my website. You drove me to do this. You drove me to do that. And then I also gave you feedback too. And it's just, you want friends like that. You want friends who can push you, who won't let you stay in your little bubble. You want friends who can, just vibe off. I think that's super important.
Yeah. And I think it comes down to values. It's very hard to grow with people who have different values to you. So for example, when I used to go on holidays years ago, I loved training on holidays. I love exercising, but I would go with people who were like, why are you eating a salad? Like you're on holiday. Like, why are you exercising? You're on holiday. And I'm like, it makes me feel good. Like that's me. Like, it's not a question. It's who I am. It's what I do. And that's when I realized, you have to have the same values or the friendship is limited in its growth.
And I always say, like, exactly with that, don't waste your valuable time with people who aren't adding to your growth and who don't appreciate you. So for me, I completely changed my lifestyle. I used to, drink a lot. I wasn't really that much into exercise. I didn't really eat well. And when I started to change my life, I was like, I got asked questions like, well, why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you going out? Oh, you're eating a salad. Oh, you're exercising again. Oh, you need to go to the gym on the weekend. Like, yeah, I am, because it's bettering my life. It's not like I'm a drug addict who's doing drugs every week. And then, yeah, you can tell me off, but I'm actually doing something to better my life. And I think, you need to invest in people who want to see you succeed and people who also inspire you to do the same.
Yeah,
True?
exactly. So I think the second question is, where do we find these people? And for me, like, look, I've had good friends my whole life, and I love them, and they are at different stages in their life. They're having kids, they're getting married, and I'm all supportive of that. But it's like, my book is my baby, but I haven't thrown a baby shower yet, or my career is so important to me, and
Yeah.
it's hard when we're at different stages. So for me, my life changed through social media. It was September 2018. I remember because it was the same day as my sister's engagement. I met up with a group of people on Instagram. It was like a blind brunch day, and we made friends, and I'm so close to them now. And we love food. We help each other. I've learned so much about photography. I've learned so much about social media. We've grown together, and they've become my bestest friends. But we can talk like about food, about photography for hours, whereas I couldn't do that with other people. And I met these people through the internet.
Yeah. And it's so true. Even the girls that I hang around in Sydney now who I've made friends with, they all do Instagram, and it's so much easier to relate. Like, I don't feel bad for going out and taking a photo or taking a photo out like this or doing an Instagram story, because they're just used to it, and, they encourage it as well. And you don't want to feel like you're in the dark with that stuff either, because at the same time, it is your business too. And people need to understand that, especially when you're filming workouts at the gym, when you're at a cafe, when you're out for lunch. Like, you don't want to feel bad for doing something that you like either. So I think that's super important in terms of finding, people like that. I think it just happens. And I think especially, when you've found good friends who support you, and I make time for those people. I always say that, I always make time for my friends and family. Like, they mean so much to me. And especially, especially with growing a business and becoming, just like who we are, I think it's just super important to realize that you need to make time for these people. And I always will make time for people who, will bring me up and who will keep me positive. For those who don't really encourage what I do, don't really make a lot of time for them, can't be bothered. But yes, I will still see them, still be nice. But, I want to surround myself and make time for people who bring out the best of me, pretty much.
100%. And, if someone's not adding to your life, start subtracting. And disclaimer, I'm not saying that, you have to be friends with like super motivated, like people, but if people don't make you feel good, why are you hanging out with them? If people make you feel guilty when you have a salad, or guilty if you want to better your life, what are you doing? Yeah. And
it's so true.
And I was just want to share something really exciting. So I recently joined Tony Robbins Mastery University. So I'm doing his business mastery.
Oh,
thank you. Next year, and we have this group, and we meet up every week.
Yeah.
I recently caught up with someone from the group, and it was like, we were just like in the energy. It was like we were just throwing out quotes and like, the 2% and all this stuff. And it was like the funniest conversation. If anyone else had heard it, they would have been like, what the hell? But we got it because we're in this pod, we're in this master together, and the energy you can create with someone and that motivates you feels so good. But the problem is people are so used to bonding over bitching or bonding over complaining.
It's so true.
Let's find something in common, even if it's something negative, like, oh, you're feeling like this, or you think that girl is crap or whatever. I feel the same way. Like, people will find commonalities even if they're negative commonalities, like stuff like that. Like, let's do drugs together, or let's get smashed off our face. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just saying people will find commonalities even in negative behaviors.
But you want to find commonalities that bring the best out of you as well. And I think that's what we're trying to get to. So making sure that you surround yourself with people who bring you up, not tear you down. Making sure that you surround yourself with people who want to see the best in you, who don't tease you about what you're doing, what you like doing. If you like horse riding, you get teased about it. Like, stuff those people. Like, fuck them. Like, you know, you're your own person and what makes you happy. So I think that's super important, just to kind of surround yourself with people who bring you up and not tear you down.
Yes. And people who love you unconditionally. I always felt like I needed to be a certain way, not really with my friends, maybe more in relationships. But I think what I really learned is you can be loved being 100% yourself, and you don't have to present a certain way. You don't have to be socially confident. You don't have to be super intelligent, because the people who support you will love you through the good, the bad, and the ugly, and they'll help you through that, not judge you through that.
It's so true. So Steph, I want you to give me tips in, you know, just finding people who can bring myself up. And also I want you to tell me what to do if someone's in my friendship group and is tearing me a bit down. What advice would you give me?
Yes. And this is so good. I love these questions. Remember, guys, the questions of your life determine the quality of your life. So if you're stuck, ask yourself good questions. So number one was where can I find people who lift me up? Figure it out what's important to you. What are your values? If your goal is to get healthier, get fitter, I would recommend, joining a group, finding people online if you're in isolation, going to a gym, but don't just go there and walk out. Smile, talk to people, compliment someone, because give the energy out that you want to receive. I used to be a bit like that. Like I was a bit like in myself and not really there. And now I'm just like, what up, people? And people will be attracted to that energy. Even if you don't feel confident, fake it. So put yourself, if you love books, put yourself in a book club. If you like learning and growth, like me, I did Tony Robbins. I've met some really great people through that. If you want to learn more about food photography, reach out to foodies on Instagram, organize a meetup. So put yourself out in the areas you want to grow in.
And then the last question.
Okay. This is a bit of a hard one because I deal a lot with this in my work. And it's, I guess, how do you move away from people who aren't serving you? Was that sort of
without being a bitch.
Without being a bitch and be like, ladies.
And you can't sit with us.
Oh, you're fucked. See ya.
Two things. Number one is love them from a distance.
Okay.
So love them from a distance, as in you don't need to see them every day. You don't need to tell them every personal detail of your life and vice versa. And if they engage in toxic behaviors like drinking or like things you don't want to do, try to catch up with them in a way that benefits you. So, okay, let's go for a walk. Let's get some tea. Let's, do a yoga class, something like that. So if you have to catch up with them, try kill two effective birds with one stone.
Okay.
And the second thing is soul distancing. So even if you're in a room and they tend to make negative comments like, why are you eating a salad? Or, you're always exercising. You're always taking photos on your phone. Like, don't you get sick of it? Nod and smile and be polite, but don't get triggered by soul distance, as in notice that, what they're saying, it's not because they're a bad person. They just don't have the same values as you. That's okay. And you don't waste your energy trying to fight back, except distance your soul.
I like that. That's really cool. I like those tips. They're good. And also just, if someone is bringing you down, take a step back or even catch them out on it as well. Because I always say, if someone's bringing you down, it's probably because of their own insecurities as well. Especially if someone's like, oh, like you should know this or you shouldn't be eating that. Well, maybe they're wanting to lose weight and can't do it. It's all different reasons why people bring people down. But I think that's a good one as well. So guys, thank you for staying tuned to our episode of Raw and Unhinged. I'm literally counting down the days till we are reunited. But from here on in, we'll just keep you guys updated on our little ventures and also our chats as well. But stay healthy, stay happy, and be positive, guys.
See you soon.